very pleased to welcome the 2023 Masters champion, Jon Rahm, to the interview room. Jon, you began obviously this major championship season by donning the green jacket. How much would it mean to you to finish it by lifting the claret jug?
It would be obviously an incredible feeling, right? There's many reasons I could give you for that. To be the first one to win an Open since Sevi for Spain would be quite special. It's amazing to me that some of the great golfers we've had haven't been able to do it, and they've been close. But it would be a true honor to get there, to get to 3 majors, right? To be the second on the Spanish list, and then to be able to win at this golf course. Knowing the history of the players that have won here in the last few times we've been, it's be a great championship. No matter who wins, it's going to be a great championship. So I'm excited to get it going, and it would be absolutely amazing to be sitting back here on Sunday.
That's great, thank you. We'll take some questions in English, and then we'll leave some time at the end of the press conference for any of the Spanish correspondents to ask in Spanish. So we'll start here at the front, please.
Hi, Jon. I'm Thales Azzoni with the Associated Press. How have you been feeling after this break? Did you work on anything specifically on your game, or was it more to recharge mentally? And also, if you could talk a little bit about the 17th hole, whether it's fair or not fair, how do you see it?
So 2 very different questions. It wasn't any work specifically on one thing. When we did the schedule early on the year, we did purposefully had this 3-week break because we knew it was going to be a lot going into this, and then afterwards, right, we have the playoffs, we still have Wentworth Ryder Cup, Spanish Open, so there's a lot of golf to play after this. So kind of needed to have a little bit of time to rest. We all need it, and because of the schedule we had this year, I haven't been able to have as much as I would have liked. So that was the main reason. It was nice to be at home and be dad for a change without having to think about golf for a few weeks. In 17, well, I see what they tried to do, right? The old 15 par 3 was the complete opposite of a hole. You have a short downhill hole with most likely downwind, with basically all the edges sloping towards the center of the green. I thought it was a good hole. You could make a birdie, and if you missed the green, a bogey was lurking. This time, they made a really difficult turtle shell par 3, right? If you hit a good shot, put it on the green, you have a clear look at birdie. If you miss the green, you have a clear look at bogey. It's hard to say anything's fair or unfair because it's so short, right? So I would say if it is, it's fair because it's unfair to everybody, like it's golf and like it's life. Simple as that. So we all have to play the same hole. So if you hit a good shot, you'll definitely most likely have a birdie chance. If not, you'll deal with it, which I get. They're going for that on the championship Sunday, right? You have a 1-shot lead, that hole can be pivotal.
Okay, next question, please. We'll go to the front, Mark.
Jon, just a little off the beaten path. I know obviously you're concentrating on your own thing, but Rory has played so well over a number of years, and we're going on 10 years without a major for him. And I'm wondering if you've gone through you're younger, but have you gone through a period where you could almost want something too much because he's gotten so close, obviously, and he's trying to find that path back?
I don't know, as long as it's a good thing. I don't know if you can want something too much. I can't speak for him, right? I can't speak for him. He's obviously a tremendously talented player, and he's put himself in position and it hasn't happened yet. I can't say what goes through his mind, obviously. So undoubtedly he wants it. Obviously he wants to get to 5. Not many players have gotten to 5, and he still has a lot of years to play ahead of him. So I know he wants to keep adding to that tally. I wouldn't know what else to say, right? I'm hoping he does it. I'm pretty sure he will get that number 5 at some point.
Okay, next question, Phil at the back.
Jon, just quickly to clarify on number 17, are you saying do you think the 17th's unfair as a whole?
No, I said it's fair. Because if it's unfair to everybody. So it's the same for all of us. So it can't be unfair. You know what I mean? It's the same for all of us. So yeah, it's way more difficult than it was before.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, Doug on the right, please.
With apologies, I have two really, really different questions, so bear with me. Since I haven't seen you in a couple months and Jay Monahan is back to work, has your opinion of him changed in the last 6 months, and if so, how?
My opinion of him? Well, there's been obviously big changes for all of us, right? First, I would like to say, I did get a text from him, but I haven't been able to speak to him. And, I hope whatever he had wasn't too serious, and I hope him and his family are doing good and his health is going back to normal. I wouldn't say it's changed. Jay has behaved so professionally and so well with me and my family. I've seen him stop to talk to my dad and my mom in a few tournaments now, and he's been really good to my family. So in that sense, he's a really good man. That's all I can say. Now, as it comes to what he's been doing for us in the PGA Tour, I think he's done a fantastic job, right? I would say it was unexpected what happened, right? I think what the management of the PGA Tour, the turn they took without us knowing, was very unexpected. But I still think he's been doing a good job. And right now, after that happened, I only think it's fair to give them the right time to work things out. I still think they have the best interest of the players at heart. And right, all we have right now, it's a framework agreement. It's an agreement to have an agreement. So we really don't have anything right now to be able to say or judge what they've done. That's all I can say.
Trust?
My trust? No. Again, he still has all this time to work this agreement to basically prove that this was the right decision, right? So no, as in right now, no.
The other one, if you don't mind, a golf question. There's a number of players, whether it's Spieth, and you could throw Rory in there, Harrington, who won multiple majors quickly, and then it's been a while. Why do you think that is?
I have no idea.
What would be your guess?
I have no idea. Don't throw me in there. That's a question for them, and other people have done it. I don't know. I really don't know.
Should I go back to Monahan?
I don't think he knows that either. So this would all be just complete guesswork, and I could be very far off. It's hard to say. I think what those three players were able to do and be able to win, what Jordan won 3 in a span of, 2-3 years? Padraig won 3 in 2 years. Rory did it in 2 years, won 4 in 2 years, right? So, that's incredibly difficult to do. And I can understand how when you get on a roll like that and win one, next time you're in position, you win another. Well, it's only fair to believe that the next one, you're going to be ready to handle the moment as well. But as to why it hasn't happened again, I wouldn't be able to give you anything, to be fair. Right? I've heard of stories in the past of people that changed their swing, but I don't think that's the case in any of those people. So I don't know.
Okay, next question in the middle there, number 2, please.
Jon, it's been quite a disrupted sporting summer in the UK. There's been a series of protests by groups like Just Stop Oil, and it kind of seems almost...
By who?
A group called Just Stop Oil, who are environmental activists.
Okay.
You might have seen their orange branding at the cricket, at the tennis, at the horse racing. They come onto the field of play and disrupt the sport.
Yeah.
It seems kind of inevitable that something like that will at least be attempted here and might well happen. I wonder if you as players have been told or warned not to interfere, and if someone runs onto a hole that you're playing and, I don't know, glues himself to a flag, would you be tempted to try and intervene or stop that? How do you think you'd be able to keep your concentration during it?
Well, I don't know. I do have a reputation, so I hope they don't catch me on the bad hole. I really don't know. I've seen a couple of those things. I know they're going for an impact. I saw a couple of them intervening in Wimbledon, and obviously this looks like it could be a perfect spot, but we have nothing to do with it. Right.
Just organisers haven't told you as players not to get involved?
I haven't seen anything, no. You don't want to disrupt play, which they're trying. So if it happens where I'm at, I'm obviously going to try to clean up as quickly as possible so we can resume playing. That's all I can say. I don't know, being a golf course in a bigger area, they might have more room to run around and do what they need to do. But what I can assure you is you don't want to get hit by a golf ball. But even if it's on purpose or accident, however it may be, you don't want to be caught in the middle of that. So I don't know. We haven't been told. At least I haven't yet. We might start hearing it tomorrow or maybe on Thursday morning. I really wouldn't know.
Thanks.
Okay, number one back right, please.
Hi there, John. You mentioned reputation briefly there. How much is strategy in keeping your cool and staying focused with links golf and the odd inevitable setback? How vital might that be for you to maybe triumph come Sunday night?
Links golf, a lot of it is going to be dictated by the weather, right? On what you can or cannot do on a golf course, especially on a golf course like this. So the last 2 Opens, the scores have been relatively low. We don't have 10 as a par 5, so I think both Rory and Tiger would have been around 12 under if you change that little bit. So you still have to go make some birdies, right? So it's just being able to pick your spots and play your best golf. It's always in golf where you need to have certain control over what you're thinking and what you're doing, obviously. So that's one of the largest parts of the game. So yeah, that's obviously a factor always.
Okay, John at the front.
John, we have a Spanish Wimbledon champion, and I hope for your sake you win on Sunday. Why is sport so important to Spain, and more to the point, why are you so good at it?
I don't know. I don't know. I've actually been asked that question, like, what's going on with you Spanish athletes lately? I couldn't tell you. I really don't know. I think when you have the right people to look up to, it's a little bit easier to get to that, right? Rafa obviously had a few major tennis champions to look up to when he was coming up, and he did what he did, right? So it's obviously for Carlos to grow up watching Rafa do what he did. Not that it's easier, but, makes you want to be the next. Obviously, when you're talking about football, there's a massive list of great football players that we've had in Spain. So that's obviously part of the culture. And when it comes to golf, we've had incredible reference as well. So I think a lot of it is thanks to people like Sevi and other athletes that did it before us.
Is it something to do also with just simple pride in your country, representing the country?
It could be, yeah. If anything, we're proud people. So it could be. I really don't know. I wish I could give you an answer.
Yeah, Bob in the middle.
John, what was your early experience with links golf? Do you recall liking it right away? Did it take a little while to figure it out? And maybe how has it evolved to this point?
I think it takes quite a bit to figure out. Where I grew up in Spain, it's usually colder, wet, soft, no rollout, no release, none of that. So when you come to play links for the first time, it's a bit of a change. My first round was right before we played the British boys at Royal St. George's. My dad and I played, and I'm gonna butcher the pronunciation. Royal, is it Cinque Ports?
Cinque Ports.
Cinque Ports. There you go. See, I'm sorry. So my dad and I played there for the first time, and he had to tell me, I had driver in hand on every hole. It's like, yeah, you might want to hit a 3-iron. And I'll never forget the first hole was playing downwind, and I hit 3-iron, and I saw that ball bounce once and twice and 3, and just keep on going, which I'm more used to seeing the ball bounce backwards, and that's it. So it was a really fun day, a really fun experience. I actually played pretty good for my first showing, and I think I've done okay in links golf, and I've played some good golf, and I enjoy it every time. I think in my mind, golf at its purest state, no matter what the weather is. And there's so many ways of getting it done. There's just so many possibilities that makes it even more fun.
Okay, Alex on the left.
Yeah, John, you were pretty vocal in support of being on the PGA Tour when all this LIV stuff started, and you never wavered from that. There's been discussion about the possibility of players being compensated for staying, depending on how all this all works out. Do you feel like you should be compensated?
It's a tricky question. So I understand the PGA Tour wanting to do something for those players who helped and stayed on the PGA Tour, but at the same time, and I'll be the first one to say, I wasn't forced into anything. It was my choice to stay, right? So do I think this absolutely should be and there must be a compensation? No. I chose to stay because I think it's the best choice for myself and for the golf I want to play. Now, with that said, if they want to do it, I'm not going to say no, right? We all had the chance to go to LIV and take the money, and we chose to stay to the PGA Tour for whatever reason we chose. And I've said before, I already make an amazing living doing what I do. I'm extremely thankful, and that all happened because of the platform the PGA Tour provided me. So as far as I'm concerned, they've done enough for me, and their focus should be on improving the PGA Tour and the game of golf for the future generations. Oh, see, that's one of the things that the agreement needs to sort out. From what I hear, they don't really want to come back. So I don't know. I really wouldn't be able to tell you. It's tricky, right? I could understand people on the PGA Tour not wanting those players back, and I could also understand why some of them want to come and play back, right? There's some great events that a lot of people probably want to go and play again, right? Some great golf courses as well. So I wouldn't be able to tell you. I do believe, there's some punishment should be in order, but I don't know what, right? I mean, I'm not a politician. That's not my job. That's for the disciplinary board and other people that are paid to do that. My job is to hit the golf ball and try to do the best I can.
Okay, we'll take these two questions and then allow some time for Spanish-speaking journalists. So in the middle, please.
Yeah, John, how involved are you interested in being in all of those thorny discussions going forward?
I tell you the same thing I told the people on the PGA Tour. If you want my opinion, ask me. If not, I'm not going to go out there and impose what I think on you guys, right? That's what I said. I think they should talk to the membership and get an idea of where the players are at. But it's not about just myself, right? Obviously, it should be a general feeling of what the membership wants to do, but I'm not going to be calling every single day telling them what I think of what should be done. Let's just say that.
And since you delivered that message, have they then reached out to you to?
Yeah, they have. I mean, when they need to know where our heads at, they've reached out, they've called me, and I've given them my opinion. That's they've been fairly open on that, and they've hired some people on tour to come to tournaments, and they're kind of the in between us and some of the higher management. So yeah, there's been communication, yes.
I know there was a lot of initial frustration when the deal was announced, not just from you, but from a lot of players that they weren't clued in. Is your sense that now some of that has cooled down a little bit? You mentioned, it's fair to give them some space now.
Well, what you guys saw was a lot of the initial reaction, right? Obviously, is their initial emotions as to what happened, and now a bit of the realization of, okay, now we have to wait till, what is it, January 1st, or whenever the agreement says they need to finalize those negotiations. So right now it's kind of the game of waiting, right? Hopefully they can reach to, I don't even know what the word is, a partnership or because it's not really a merger, I don't even know, whatever. A partnership that they both are happy with the outcome is going to be, and everybody can move on and be the best golf product we can put out there, whatever that looks like, I don't know. But yeah, I think it's obviously cooling down, and now we're all waiting to see how this moves forward.
Okay, then John on the right there, please.
John, much has been made recently of the run of form that Scotty Scheffler has been producing over the last few months. I just wondered how big a fan you are of that sort of consistency as opposed to winning 4 times and missing every cut.
Well, the better you play, and if you're consistent, the more chances you're going to give yourself to win, right? Tiger didn't only have an incredible win percentage, his top 10 percentage and top 5 percentage was just even higher, right? So the more you put yourself in position, the more you're going to be able to win. So I'm a fan of what Scotty's done. I've prided myself in the past in consistency, even though this year's been a little bit of a bit less. With that said, I'll take 4 wins and playing a little bit bad for a couple months. So yeah, I think if you ask him, he'll probably give a couple of those top 5s away for an extra win, because that's what we're here for. But nevertheless, it's really impressive what he's done, and I'm a fan of players that can keep playing good golf at that level for a long time.
Juan?
So, John, you were talking about representing your country, and I couldn't help you notice your new logo in the sleeve there. Can you talk about it a bit about it? Yeah.
Yeah, I was wondering if somebody was going to pick up, but now that everybody's paying attention to that. I'm really thankful, obviously, Santander being a big bank in Spain and Europe and worldwide. I'm very excited to be able to partner with them. It's my first Spanish sponsor, it's the first time I'm ambassador for a Spanish company, so I'm very, very excited. You know, they don't only help over 150 million people worldwide. It's mainly also related to golf in Spain in a massive way, right? I don't even know what her title is, President, CEO, Ana Botín, very related to Sevi's family, right? He was married to her sister, so related to golf in a massive way, and their dad was also involved in golf in Pedreña as well. So it's really great to be part of a company that's the best of both worlds, and be able to represent them. I know they wanna have a bigger influence in the U.S., and I'm glad they chose me for that.
Okay, if we do have any questions from Spanish-speaking journalists, please signal, we'll get the microphone to you, but we'll go to number 1.
And it was also announced yesterday you extended your relationship with Callaway, and that included, I guess you got an equity stake. What was your reasoning behind doing that? And also, do you feel like you'll have more of a voice in equipment decisions in the future?
You know, I like to be involved in companies I believe in. And the fact that they allow me to have equity in it shows faith in both parts, right? I'm all in on what I do, and I'm gonna give it my best on the golf course, and they're showing me that they trust me enough to be a part of it, and I know they're gonna give it their all to give me the best product possible. With that said, even before this deal was signed, they've asked me my input and equipment, and I probably could have demanded a lot more. I'm just not gonna be the kind of person who's thinking about what to do so much. They obviously have engineers. They're much better on all of that than I am. I can only give them what I'm feeling on the golf course. And they've taken that into consideration, and they've come up with some products. So yeah, I mean, if I think of things, I'm definitely going to voice them, and they've heard every single one of them.
Do you think it will change your opinions on maybe the ball rollback or stuff like that?
My opinions?
Yeah.
What do you mean by that?
Whether, you know, the equipment company might have a specific view of how they feel about it. Now you're part.
I think no matter our view, it looks like it's happening. So it doesn't really matter what I think or not. But if you can be on the forefront of a big company like Callaway who can get ahead of it, you know, and I can be invested a little bit earlier, it could be great. But yeah, no, it doesn't really change. The USG and the RNA are going to do what they want to do, no matter what I think.
Brian, back left.
Thanks, Mike. Yeah, John, sadly we all missed seeing you at the Renaissance Club last week. He's slow then at the Scottish Open. What was your view of the way that tournament played out with Rory and just magnificent 2-iron and Bob McIntyre going head-to-head with him? And with a follow-up to that, what do you think Bob's chances are now of being part of Luke's team for Marcus Simone in a few months' time?
Well, given the fact that he beat Rory and Fitzy a couple of years ago at that golf course to win the Italian Open in a playoff, I think his chances were always good. But he's definitely been in good form lately playing good golf, right? He had a good chance in Denmark. He played really good last week. It was an incredible finish by Rory, right? Even though that pin on 17 might have been the easier one, in the last hour or so of broadcast, I didn't see anybody get within 20 feet. So to finish the way he did was absolutely incredible. As well as how Bob finished, right? It was unfortunate that he made that bogey on 16, but that birdie on 18 was nothing short of miraculous, right? I mean, get a little lucky on the tee shot and then hit that second shot into the green was incredible. So if somebody who can do that, shoot 6 under on those weather conditions, is not a candidate, I don't know who else can be. So yeah, he should definitely be a candidate. I like his chances.
Okay, final question on the left here, number 1.
Hi, John. I'm wondering how you practice and prepare for like high pressure situations like a major.
Obviously, it's very difficult to put yourself in that position, right? It's very hard to be able to replicate the scenarios, golf course, circumstances. I spoke briefly on the last press conference I did. If you can, it's all about competition, right? So if you can create an environment where you're competing against yourself and put yourself in somewhat of a position of being able to feel the same things, at the end of the day is repetition, right? Pressure is pressure, higher or lower. If you can act the same every single time and have the same routine and perform, you might be able to do it when it really counts on the golf course. A lot of times you don't know until you get yourself in that situation, right? You first find yourself for the first time in a major championship with a chance, and you're going to learn a lot about yourself. But before that, I would say, in my case, I've always said I'm a competitor, and if I can somehow create that in practice, it's always going to carry on.
Jon, thanks for your time today. Best of luck this week. Thank you.